Hello guys, my name is Yashashri and today we are going to look at another interview related assignment in which we have to deal with nested dropdowns and we have to create a UI out of it. So the question says we have a specific structure of JSON, or after you convert it into a JavaScript object, you'll basically have this structure. Okay. Now what it is asking us to do is to create a UI or a drop down list out of this structure, meaning we have a main category. It has several different options, which will be a different selection box or a drop down, and that subcategory, let's say, will have different sets of items in it, and that is what will have another drop down for. So the whole idea here is, based on this structure of JSON, we need to create a dynamic UI out of it. Okay. Three selection box, which will be dependent on the structure of this particular object itself. Okay. Like it says, the first drop down enable the selection of categories, which basically are these: fruit and vegetables. So these are major categories or the main categories. Then the second drop down or the second level of drop down will allow you to control these subcategories. In our case, it will be seasonal, all year, or leafy essentials. These two options, depending on which core or which main category is selected. Now, based on that selection, we have to populate another set of data, or we have to create another selection box based on the values inside the subcategories, which are these different item object, so to say. Right. So the best way would be to actually just go and do on a brute force approach. And then there is also a better way to handle it. But again, then we'll have to actually pre-process the data in a different format. The second way will be to do it in a recursive fashion, but for that it has to be following a specific pattern which this particular object or this particular JSON data doesn't follow. It has a multi different sort of a pattern. For fruit is an object and items are an subcategories are an array of items, which are again an object itself. So we'll talk about the second approach in brief at the end of this session. But generally, what we'll first try to do is create a UI, very simple UI. Styling and all we are not totally focused on. We just need some functionality there, right? So based on this data structure or this JavaScript object, we need to create a UI. Okay, that is what our goal is. Just to give you the demonstration, we have something like this, right? So we have a fruit and vegetables, right? So if I click on vegetables, all the options changes according to the main one, right? If we look back here, we have fruit and we have vegetables, right? So vegetables has second options are leafy or essentials, and that is what we have here. Based on which one is selected, leafy or essentials, second level or the third level, I should say, the item level is populated accordingly, right? Spinach and methi. Essentials, it changes to only onion, like it is in the data structure here, right? So let's start then. I've already set up a basic create React, you create React application using create React app, and we are already serving it at localhost 3000. And this is the result, right? Bare minimum, whatever create React app gives us, that is what we have right now. Okay. So first, let's start with, let's focus on the first drop down, and then we'll move on from there. Okay. App.js, and for simplicity's sake, we'll be just putting it directly inside our app component. But if you need to make a different component, let's say a drop down component or a head, many component and all, that you can easily do based on how you want to structure it. Just for the simplicity sake, we'll be doing everything directly in the app component here. Okay. So this is ready. Now we need our this particular structure, right? So let's copy this and put it somewhere here for now. let's name it menu data maybe, right? So this is the structure, right? Ideally you can you'll be getting this data from a API call or maybe through some other means, and then basically you can pass it on as a props to your component. Okay, in our case it is app component, but since it is directly defined here, we can just directly use this particular data directly from here itself, just for the simplicity sake. Otherwise, same thing will be followed. Same thing will be followed if it had been a different component. We could just get this data from an API call or anything, and then pass it as a prop to that component, and that component would start using it accordingly. Okay, fine. So first thing first is we need a select box, easy, right? Select element, so to say, correct? So we would need some sort of select element like this, right? Let's remove this for just for the simplicity's sake. And we need to have different option tags here, correct? Multiple option tags like this based on the structure of this data, this menu data, correct? So first and foremost, I need to get some sort of an array or some sort of data or list or something like that, so that I can correspond that into an option tag, right? So what we'll do, we'll say in our app component, we'll say const menu keys. These menu keys will basically be an array of first level or the main categories, fruit and vegetables in our case. Okay, and in order to get that, we'll be using object dot get property names. This basically takes an object and returns a list of or an array of all the properties that is defined in that object. In our case, it will be fruit and vegetables, right? So I can just say menu data. Okay, this will basically give me an output of something like this, an array of fruit and vegetables. So now this is in an array, right? Menu keys becomes an array. What we can do now is basically generate that option tags now. So we can say const, let's say menu options is equal to menu keys dot map, right? Menu keys dot map. The element inside will be, let's say, menu key, and we'll just get the IDX or the index also, because I'm not going to be using a third-party UI ID package to generate a unique ID, but you can do that. Just for the simplicity's sake, we'll be taking in the index itself for the key property in map function, right? So this will just return an option tag, right? Since this is going to be an array of options or array of JSX elements, we need to put in the key property or the key attribute. This has to be, for now, we'll just put in the IDX. In production level environment, you would obviously use some other package, UUID or something like that. Okay, so this is going to be option tag. Now in the value, we can say this menu key itself, this particular one, and in the text, we'll be saying the same thing, right? Let's just try to run this, put it inside the select box, save. Let's look back here. Let's see, refresh. Yeah, it's coming, right? So fruit, vegetables, all this first level of this is done. Okay, now this is very simplistic, right? We need to have more state also, because we need to get the output also, okay, which particular one is going to be selected by the user and everything, right? We are going to ultimately have to create a control component, correct? So let's start with a little bit more structure. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we'll be using a state hook. Okay, right? This will be our category. Fine. Let's make this capital. We'll figure out the use state or the initial state in just a moment. Right. Okay. So basically, the first state or the initial state, what do we want? Probably the first element in that structure or this JSON object or JavaScript object technically, right? So probably the first element of this array, correct? That should be the correct state. Let me open up the the React state also, so that we can verify. Right. So we have only one component. There is no props and there is no state right now. Correct? Okay. So the initial state, okay, the initial state which is going to be selected here should be the first element itself. Okay, that can be anything in our case, but for now we'll be just using the first element in this array. So that would mean menu keys 0, right? This will be the initial state. Now, since this is going to be a control component, right? So this category ka value is what we want here. So I can just specify that here, right? Now, since again, control component, so we also have to define an on change handler for this, right? Let's make it handle category, right? Let's put this here. Const handle category is a function, which is something like this, right? So when this happens, or whenever the options are changed here, what we'll do, we'll set the value of category also accordingly, right? So what we'll do, we'll get an event object here. So we can say const selected category is equal to e dot target dot value. This will contain the options ka value. Whatever value we have specified here will be there in this particular variable. Okay. Based on this, we'll just set the category, which is this one, right? Let's test it out. Refresh, right? So now we have an initial state fruit, right? That is also reflected in our UI. So if I change to vegetables, that state is also getting updated. So our first level is more or less ready. First level of the main category drop downs. Now let's focus on the second level. We'll be using similar approach. Okay, we'll be using similar approach only. Let's start with here. We would need some sort of a state for tracking the current subcategory also, right? So we can say, but before that, we also need to get all the keys here, right? Leafy, essentials, seasonal, or all year, right? Now this values will be dependent on which particular main category is selected, correct? So if we look closely, we need to understand the data structure actually properly. This season and all year could be get by using object.get own properties name itself. However, we need to get only those values initially which are currently there in the category, right? And as the user will keep on changing, so the category will change and automatically my subcategories will also change. Okay, so for now we'll just define the initial subcategory option, right? So we'll say const, let's say subcategory category, and then we'll have the hook. Use state. Okay. Now again, so here also we need some initial data or initial value, correct? What we can do, we can be smart about it because we already know when the first time this component mounts, right, it will have the fruit as per this statement, line number 20. So we can directly use this category in order to get the keys inside that particular category object. So first we need to get all the keys. So we can say sub category keys is equal to, again, object dot get property names. Now here is what we'll be using this particular currently stored category value in the state. Okay. So what we can do is we can use this menu data. Okay. Of that menu data, I want the currently selected category, which is going to be stored in this one, right? Of that, I want all the keys. So in our case, this will be returning an array or something on the similar sorts of this, right? So the first one will be selected as the component mounts or it gets executed. Basically, category will have fruit in it, right? Fruit. And based on that, fruit itself is an object here, correct? So for that object, I need to get all the keys, meaning these options, seasonal, all year, and that will get stored here in the array. So what we can do now is just say subcategory keys 0, meaning the first element, in our case seasonal, which should be the starting point. Okay, so if you notice, first selection would be fruit itself, and then first sub collection or the subcategory selected would be seasonal in our case. Cool. Okay. Now this is done. Since subcategory keys are available, now we can do the same thing for the second level of select box, right? We can say select. Let's get rid of these for simplicity. The value of this would be actually that subcategory values itself, right? This is the value subcategory which we are storing here. Okay, nice. Now in here we'll be using some JSX, right? So we already have subcategory keys here, right? Like we did for menu options using menu keys, same we can do for subcategories also. We can say const subcategory options is equal to subcategory keys subcategory keys dot what we call dot map, and then we have, okay, no, this would be then fixed, right? This will have seasonal and all year, and this will not change automatically, right? This is the initial one. So what we'll have to do actually, based on the current category, right? Because we want based on the vegetables, whatever is here, right? Based on vegetables, we want the second level accordingly, right? This will be this category keys, so will only contain the initial value, correct? So what we have to do actually, we'll be again using object dot get property names, object dot get property names, and here we'll say menu data, okay, menu data, and of that menu data, get me the keys of the current category itself, okay? And then on top of that, I'll just run the map function. This will be, let's say, subcat, and then again the index. For simplicity purposes, we'll be returning again a sample, or basically we'll be returning a JSX element having the option. The key will be, or we can just do something like this. We can just copy this. Right? In here, the value will be this, and the text will be subcat itself. Right? Now we can just put it here for our rendering. Okay. So till now, if we look, we have fruit, and automatically see seasonal is also coming here, right? If you notice here though, when I click on vegetables, this changes, but this internal state of what is the currently selected subcategory is still seasonal itself. That is because we have not yet made our select box a controlled form or a control element, right? We just have to put in an on change handler. Let's say handle subcategory, right? This will be also very similar to this. We can say, let me just copy this so that times is space. Okay. This will be selected subcategory, and here it will be set subcategory, right? Okay, let's test it out. Refresh. We have fruit, we have seasonal, and this is what also maintained here, right? So when I click on vegetables, this also becomes vegetable, right? But notice again, this seasonal is not changed, right? Because we have only attached handler in the second level or this particular drop down. So if we change this, then the value here, okay, we have not used the value, no, my bad. So the value will be subcategory, and then we'll have menu data, and based on that subcategory options, value is the subcategory, and this as it is. Okay, it's on change, no? On change, right? Now if I refresh, if we change the vegetables, this is getting changed, which is fine. But second state or the subcategory state is still the same, seasonal only. However, since we attached a event listener for on change on the second component or the second level selection box, when we change this, then it will changing here, right? So that means when this particular drop down changes, I need to also update the values here, right? Then only it will make sense, and then only it will be synchronized with everything, right? So that means what we'll have to do here is when the main category is changing, we are setting the current selected category as the main category. That is fine, but we are not changing the subcategory. Subcategory though still is the same itself in the state, right? It changes in the UI, but internally the state still has the value of the old one, right? In order to do that, what we'll be doing is, again, based on the current selected category, I need to get the sub keys or subcategory keys, right? So we can say const current subcategory, which is equal to, again, simply object dot get on property names. This will be menu data from the menu data based on the currently selected category, get that object, right? So this will again return me something like seasonal, all year, depending on which one is selected. If it's vegetable, it will be returning me an array of leafy and essentials. If it is selected as fruit, it will be returning seasonal and all year, right? So that means since this is going to be changing the entire thing, right? This entire thing will get changed, right? That means ki doesn't matter whether whatever we have to select the second one or first one, automatically it should come ki when the vegetable is selected, automatically leafy should come, right? Leafy should come. If it's fruit, seasonal should come, right? So in order to do that, basically we just need to select the first element of this entire array. Now, just to put a shortcut, I can just directly put in this. This will be referring to the first element, which is returned from this particular get own property names function, right? Now we just have to call the set subcategory and set the value like so, right? Okay. So now if we look, refresh, fruit seasonal, right? State is also proper and whatever is in the UI is also correct, right? So let's change to vegetables. It becomes leafy and that is the state here also. Main category as vegetables, state as leafy, right? If we change back to fruit again, automatically the second state or the subcategory becomes seasonal in the state also. Earlier it was not happening like so, right? The UI was changing, but the state was not, right? So our second level of dropdown is also done. Similarly, similar sort of an approach is what we're going to use for these third level or the item level values. We just have to make sure that this is an object, right? An array of objects. So we just have to be a little bit careful. That's all. Okay. So similar to all these category and subcategories, we'll probably also need a state to manage the current item, right? Whatever the current item is selected. So we can do that. Let's just use the use state again. Right. So here would be item. Set item would be this. And now comes the part of the initial state. Now we know the initial state would be probably this object itself, right? Because we have fruit and seasonal as our first and second level drop down, right? So the third one makes sense to have this only, right? This value, this particular object ka value, Pango in our case, right? Then from there, the user can change everything and all, and accordingly, the UI and the state will get updated. So in order to do that, I would just say menu data of the current category would give me this object. Of that object, I want to see the, or I want to get the current subcategory, which is this, right? So based on this, I will be getting this array entirely, right? Of this entire array, I need to get the first item. So I can just say 0 again, right? That will be in the first, that will be the initial state or the initial value, something like this, right? So we have the list of main categories, we have the list of all the subcategories, and finally, based on which one is currently selected, we'll have the first initial item object selected inside this item hook, right? Okay. Now comes in key, we have to generate a UI for it also, right? Similar to this, correct? The way we can do that again is just having some sort of option. These subcategory already we have, right? Subcategory we already have. We just need to reference it, get the array, and generate a UI out of it or options out of it, right? So I can say const item options is equal to we can say menu data current category of that current category current subcategory, right? This will give me an array of these values, right? An array of these values, okay, whatever be the current state. On that, I will just call the subcategory dot map, right? This is going to be a function item. Let's make this IDX again. Return same IDX. This will be item. Remember, this is an object, right? It will be an object. So we can say item dot name, and this can be also for now item dot name. Okay, and this I can render here. Cool. Let's see how the progress is, and then we'll figure out what else is missing. Refresh. Okay, so the current state fruit, seasonal, mango, that is correct, fine. The when we change the first vegetable, first level into vegetables, that changes these two, but let's see, still that issue is there. The initial state is still maintained, right? We're not changing based on that. So we'll just have to create a control component, right? That means we just have to use the current value, and the on change handler we have to implement, right? Okay. So we just say that value is going to be current item, right? But the problem is the way HTML works, we cannot store the entire object itself. Remember, this item is going to store an object like this, one item object, right? So what we actually do, if I show you here, what we'll do now, we'll actually attach a JSON string itself. That is a hacky way, but you can also do it in a better way, like having to find out in a filter. You can filter it and then maintain the state. For now, just for the simplicity's sake, again, what we will do, the moment we are generating the item options, right? What we'll do, instead of having only the name, what we'll do, we'll just stringify it. Okay, there is a reason why we are doing this. We'll come to that. Okay, so we'll just stringify the entire item object itself, and this to item name will be anywhere there, right? Let me just comment this out for the time being, just to show you. If we go into elements, hover over this, see the value here is that same string, right? There is a benefit of it. It will come to in a little while. Now we just have to make it a control component accordingly, right? So basically, select item will have these values inside these options. So the value would actually be JSON.stringify whatever the current item is, right? Based on that item object, it will match out with all the options and then automatically select it based on whatever the user is, either if the user is changing or if it's the initial first render, right? Both the case, it will work. Now I just have to add a on change handler. We'll say handle item. Okay. Let's put this function here itself. Now, since our initial state was storing an object, right? That is why we were able to use item.name here. right? But now we are stringifying it in the value. That means ki when the user will be interacting with this element, okay, on change handler, when it comes, it will give me the stringified version of this entire object item, right? Whatever that item is, correct? So if we just console.log currently e dot target dot value, if we do this currently just for the sake of testing, right? If we change to mango, let me refresh. If we change to pineapple, see this is coming as a string, right? Right? Pineapple is selected, mango is selected. Now, since we are not able to see that because we are not setting it currently, right? It is automatically being set as the current value, which is stored in the state itself, right? We are not changing the state of the third element right now. That is why it is not being reflected here. So all we need to do is we can just say set item JSON dot parse e dot target dot value. This will set that object in my state, and when the state will change, this will get re-rendered, and then re-rendered being the value being the same one which is selected. So our whatever we wanted to have in the item dropdown will be achieved, right? Okay, let's test it out again. So if we change to pineapple, it is there. If we change to mango, it is there. If we all year only has one option, so we cannot just test it properly. So in the leafy, we have spinach, we have methi, we have this, yeah. So it's selecting properly. Onion and all is fine, right? So initial level of everything is done. We just now to look at smaller details here and there. Let's correspond or tally with the state that we have, right? Control component. So it should have everything here itself. You can see currently it's still saving spinach itself, right? Although these are maintained properly, this is not currently maintained properly, right? Only when we change to something else, spinach, then only it is changing, right? Methi, this is fine. But if we change to fruit, see, it is still storing methi only, right? It's not coming back to mango, right? If we change to all year is there and banana is there in the UI, but state of item is still storing methi only, correct? So this we have to fix. So let's dissect it a little bit. Start with the first one. When we change to anything in the first dropdown, if it's fruit or if it's vegetable, everything should get changed, or the second level or the third level also should get changed, and it should have the first element itself, right? Based on this data structure, if we see, if we select fruit, the second dropdown should automatically select seasonal, and the third one should automatically have mango in it, right? If we change only the first dropdown. If we make it again vegetables, that means that the moment vegetable is selected, the second dropdown should automatically select leafy, and the third dropdown should automatically have spinach in it, right? Let's just verify if that's the case. Fruit, yes, fruit and seasonal is there, but only item is not getting updated. That means that we can just add that line of set item in our handle category, right? Because that is what it was missing there, correct? So when the main category changes, we change the current category as well as change the subcategory, and accordingly we also need to set the item, right? So we'll say set item as menu data current category. So all the or this selected category is what we need to select or get the the options from the menu data, right? And then this will give me, based on this selected category, I want to get the subcategory, or using this current subcategory, this will give me the array. Okay, either this or this or this. Okay, of that array, I want the first item. right? Every time the main category is changed. Okay. Automatically, when this is going to be invoked, it will re-render the item options accordingly, and everything should fall into the place. Let's see. So we have fruit. Let's refresh once. So we have fruit, seasonal, mango, and that is what is mentioned or represented in the state also. If I change to vegetables, main current category becomes vegetable, which is correct. Subcategory becomes leafy, which is also correct. And the state also or the item state also becomes spinach, which is correct. Right? Okay. So based on the first level, everything else is shifting properly. Right? Now, when the user goes to second state or the second level drop down, right? If it has vegetables, if it's want to vegetables, and then inside leafy, if he selects essentials, if I select essentials, notice this gets changed, right? But the item state is still spinach. However, in the UI is still onion only, right? This is changed. The UI is updated, but the state is not updated, right? That means similarly, like we handled in the category, we just have to repeat it for item in the handle subcategory, right? So since based on the first level, everything would be changing. So we change all the three parts. Now, if subcategory is changed, only I need to change the subcategory in the state as well as the item, right? So we can just do, or we can just copy this entire thing, paste this here. This will be selected subcategory itself, which is this. Of that, I want the first item, right? Let's test this now. And in the handle item, though, it will be same itself, right? Handle item, so the moment handle item is invoked, we are only, the user will only be changing the item part, right? Item drop down. All right, selected category, where is it? Or selected subcategory. Selected category, this will get changed to basically our current category, which is stored here, right? So based on whatever the current category, main category is selected, on that I get the currently selected subcategory. Now we are not doing, after directly after just putting the value based on the state itself, meaning we should not do this, because state updates, or when you call the state updates, no, set function, set update, or whenever you're updating the state programmatically, those are asynchronous in nature, right? So it does not guarantee that the moment this function is executed, this will also have the updated value. That is why instead of subcategory, we'll be using selected subcategory, which guarantees the new value that needs to be there in the set item state. Okay, let's test it out. Refresh. We'll just see everything tallies up with the state here or not, right? So when we say vegetables, vegetable, leafy, and spinach, yes, vegetable, leafy, and spinach. If I change essentials, onion, right? If I change, like, let's say leafy again, so only leafy and spinach again. If I change to methi, it will be methi properly. If I change back to the fruit, everything gets reset to accordingly the fruit option, and we have seasonal, and then we have mango. We change it to pineapple. Yes, it's changing to pineapple. If I change it to all year, it is changing all year here also, and accordingly in here also, banana. It's only one option right here, right? So this basically is what we have been, we have used in order to achieve the required functionality. Based on the data itself, the UI is getting generated. If I want to add more options, I can just say, let's say clothes, right? Then we'll probably have some summer clothes maybe. This is going to be an array of items, right? Let's have another one. Let's say winter, right? And winter will probably have the name as, let's say, sweater, right? and the price, let's say, is 44 or whatever. Let's repeat this with some another item. Let's make this jacket, price again 100. Okay, let's do something for this also. Let's copy it, let the price be the same itself. Let's make this cotton t-shirt. Why not? Right, second item, let's make it, I don't know, maybe some pants or trouser or whatever. Right, price is, let's say, 77 or not. Right, we only changed in the menu data object. Right, when we save it, it will automatically reflect here. Let me refresh this. Clothes. When the moment we choose clothes, it automatically comes in summer and cotton t-shirt. Trousers, accordingly, all the state update is happening properly. If you want, we can just have one button, and on click of it, we can just get all the state values, which will be representing the current state of the UI itself. So everything is in sync now. While we are at it, let's just also add the price also here, just for added benefit. What we can do here is item.name. We can say item.name, and then we can have item.price. This will also mention the price in that drop down. There we go. Mango 100, pineapple 70, vegetables, spinach 20, methi 20, clothes, summer, winter, t-shirt, sweater, all working perfectly. Right? Okay. Some tips. First thing is, wherever I have used IDX, there you would actually be using UUID or universally unique ID to generate the actual proper indexes or proper key attributes, right? First tip. Second is, wherever I have used menu data, right, this will be actually be passed to you as like passed to the component, right, as a prop or anything, or maybe you'll be getting it through a network call inside the use effect or component did mount, and then everything will start from that particular point onwards, right? So this data can be anywhere, right? Based on that data is what we are doing everything, right? Menu keys, subcategory keys, and based on these, we are maintaining the current selected subcategory, category, and item, right? Now, this solves this particular question. Now, the second part, it says you also have to have a necessary interface to edit, add category and all. That will have to have been inside a different UI itself or a different UI component. And we'll be just changing the data inside here through the input tags and all. And then basically we'll be just sending that new data into as a props to the component. Or you can also have everything stored in a Redux store, right? The moment anything of this sort changes, it will update wherever it needs to be updated, right? Now let's discuss another approach. If a recursive approach. In the recursive approach, the pattern has to be uniform, right? Here the pattern is not uniform. First level is object, second level is an array, and third level itself is another object, right? So the pattern is not uniform. If it had been a uniform data structure or a uniform menu data, in that we could have used recursion, and then based on how much depth it is, it will automatically create all those different select boxes. Okay, here the data was not uniform enough. That is why we had to go for different levels of states, right? As well as different specific handling was needed for different cases, right? The best way to have that in a recursive approach is that we have to use we can change the entire data structure on the client side, like after getting this data in this format, and then we change it in the front end again, but that will be a little bit tedious depending on how much data is there. or we can ask the backend developer who can change the structure which works better. Okay, whichever works better for our case. Okay, so in a legit recursive approach, this menu data would probably be an array, okay, in which it will be an array of object. The first level will be, the main category. These first level object will be main category. So I can say name, this will be fruits. Similarly, second level name, this can be, let's say, what was that? Vegetables, no? Vegetables, right? So this is what we could use. This is an array of objects. Now we can, based on this array itself, we can map all over the objects and we could create the first level select boxes. And then the magic here is submenu. Submenu itself will be another array. Similarly here, okay, this submenu will be another array of objects. In our case, this will be, again, name will be leafy. Okay, another object inside this submenu will be name. What is that? Seasonal and all, let's try to mimic that only. Right? Now, first level is this, second level menu is this, and third level, again, we'll just use the similar approach. We'll just have another submenu property, which will be another array, right? And here is what we'll put all these items. Right? Let's just format it better. Correct? Same thing for here. And there we go. This can be repeated for vegetables also. So there are two ways again. You can do that as an operation, in the front end after receiving data format or data menu data in this particular format. Okay. But if you want to have a recursive approach, then the data needs to be formatted in this way, right? We can write a function or a component which works recursively till the point we don't have any submenu key in any of the object, right? So name submenu is the structure. Every sublevel will have a submenu will have an array of object having the name, which is going to be the name in the drop down itself. And then whatever the corresponding submenu for that particular option. Okay. Let's just comment this out. And there we go. So this was your entire discussion about the specific question, how we can have nested drop downs and how those drop downs would be working in tandem with each other, right? Depending on whatever the value is here, all the other value is getting updated accordingly, right? Ideally, you can also have a button here. When you click on it, we'll basically get the copy of the state values, right? It'll always be in the sync. Okay. I hope this was insightful. Okay. I'll catch you in the next video.